How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Hop Butcher up in this piece in the form of their Soar. Yeah, this is a Tettnang Hort 9909. Never heard of that hop before. And Waiiti hopped Mexican style lager. Okay, they're hitting me with the lagers. This is how I know Hop Butcher watches my reviews. I know they know because I text Jeremiah from Hop Butcher quite a bit. But how I know is because when breweries typically send you off beers, they'll send you one, maybe doubles of beers. And awesome, great. Every now and then you'll get a 4-pack or something like that. But usually it's kind of an assortment of beers that people send off. So Hop Butcher just sent me a box of beers. And they sent me a ton of stuff, actually. And it was like, I think it was like 6 different beers. And each one of them, they're doubles, except for this one. They sent me a 4-pack because they know how I get down with my lager. So we're talking about a Mexican-style lager. If you're talking about a Mexican-style lager, you know, a little bit of corn vibes. On purpose, mind you. Crisp, clean, but also maybe a little bit heftier. We have here crisp cracker, dried apricot, and sweet cereal, per their tasting notes in the back. One of my favorite Jetsa cans as of late. Been kind of a departure from their typical canning. It seems that usually Jetsa kind of just does a core drawing along the center. Now they're starting to do the whole can thing. I really dig the way this one kind of comes off. And you know, the color matching of the beer itself with the actual can artwork, you know, that golden rich kind of color you'd expect from Mexican lager, and just getting that kind of thing going on. I dig it. I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah. Looks the part. Now, what are we expecting here? Are we expecting uber traditional? No, you're talking about 3 different hops in here. Tettnang, which would be kind of, I guess, a little bit more traditional. But then Hort 9909, no idea what that is. And then that Waiiti hopped. Yeah, we'll see how it plays. But she looks the part. Soft, little, slightly, gently hazed kind of lager. Let's get a nose. I can get that apricot thing because it's a soft fruitiness. I wouldn't necessarily, it leans like super heavy kind of stone fruity thing, but it's got this kind of nice sweet fruits, maybe even slight berry kind of vibe going on. I'm definitely getting that kind of crispy, crackery kind of Pilsner malt thing going on. Done and done. It smells really nice. It smells a little bit more kind of Euro lager than Mexican lager, but, you know, they're not too far off in the grand scheme of things. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. There's some nice bittering going on in this. This actually comes off quite kind of traditional, maybe a little bit more bittering, but the way this comes off, it's not that uber over the top kind of hefty or uber over the top crispiness that you'd expect from an Americanized lager, even some kind of Euro lager. It does have a little bit more kind of soft density to it. That malt is absolutely the front runner star of the show for the first half of the beer. Big, robust kind of crackery malt. A little bit of more, like I said, hefty, not richness, but almost like a slight wheat vibe to it. So it's kind of, take your traditional Mexican lager where you have like a kind of crackery malt with a little bit maybe slightly kind of corny vibe. And here, it's that kind of crackery malt with a little bit of kind of wheat vibes. So I would assume, I don't know if they actually put wheat in here, but that's the way it comes off for me. And that kind of fruity, more like stone fruit berry thing in the nose really gives way to a nice pop of a relatively aggressive bitterness for at least its ABV level. Did I even call it out on here? It's 4.75. It's really nice. It's one of those weird lagers that I'm kind of like, okay, you know, when I think of lagers nowadays, more specifically, I think of light, I think of crisp, I think of clean. And while this is clean and crisp, it's not that light. It does have some density to it, which for me rings very true for the Mexican lager style. And while I kind of half-ass joke about like the Italian Pilsner and all that kind of stuff when it comes to beers, this is probably one of the more kind of starting with an original recipe and then doing your own thing with it, which is kind of Hop Butcher's MO. So you take that traditional lager, you bump up that Mexican lager, you bump up that bittering just a skosh, and then you add that component of that little bit of hefty, like more like wheat vibes instead of a little bit of kind of corny vibes, and I think it ends up being a really tasty version of a Mexican lager. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I thought they'd either go super traditional or do some kind of crazy, hazy hop fuckduggery thing that they typically do. What they did was they took subtle moves and changed it just a little bit in either direction. And I think it ends up being a really tasty and a very unique beer in a style that doesn't have a lot of uniqueness, which is probably the coolest part about the whole thing. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better lagers I've had as of late? Yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? I still like, in the grand scheme of things, for mine to either be uber traditional Czech style, Euro style lager, or just the American hopped up super crispy boy. But this wants to be up there. Let's put it that way. Value and availability. No idea. Hot Butcher, hopefully they're coming in at a decent price point on this. And it's not brewery only, because they don't do that. They do the distribution drops, but you got to be quick on those. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like, new school fuckduggery lagers, but with a little bit of a twist as opposed to an over-the-top twist. And lagers in general, you're going to dig this. Again, you're not looking at a true crispy boy is what all the kids not want to call it nowadays, but it does have this nice kind of uniqueness and a style that a lot of people don't fuck with. So if you like that, you like this beer. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of Hot Butcher right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.